Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of KepTalk. As you can see here, I have 3 guests with me today, and I'm just really excited about what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into the topic of today, I'm just going to have each of them introduce themselves to you, and they're going to say their name, they're going to say what they do, they want, it's up to them, and then also they're gonna describe each other. So they're gonna use an adjective to describe each other. So let them do that, and then we'll get right into what we're talking about today on episode 5 of KepTalk. Woo-hoo! I'm excited. All right, so we'll start with you. This is a familiar face.
So I'm Simi. As some of you guys might know, might not know, I'm Simi. I am 23 years old. I am currently a grad student and working full-time, right? How I would describe my wonderful friend over here, I would describe her as genuine, for sure, very genuine. And my wonderful friend over there, I would describe her as reliable, for sure.
Nice.
Love y'all.
All right.
Okay, I'm Dami. I'm 24. I'm currently working in research, and to describe my 2 friends, I would describe her as bright. I would describe her as pure of heart.
I love that. And last but not least,
My name is Omalara. I'm 24 years old. I'm currently a graduate student, and I also work part-time. And I would use thoughtful as a word to describe Dami. And for Simi, I would definitely say compassionate. Very compassionate.
I love that. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so willing, and I mean, they were excited. So that energy rubbed off on me, right? So today's topic is about friendship. And honestly, before I even think of a topic, or I believe the topics that come to mind are from God, right? I go to Him, I pray to Him, and I'm like, Lord, what should I talk about on the next episode of KepTalk? And God began to open my eyes to just see really the importance of friendship. And, I had to do a little bit of soul searching recently, and think about, college years and high school years. And I was like, if I could go back into time, I would have done things so differently when it came to how I interacted with my friends, right? I obviously probably wasn't mature. But there's just so many things that I feel we're going to get into today that I think people just need to hear. And it all revolves around friendship. I think I was sharing with my sister recently, and I think it was all of you actually, where there was a point in my life where I felt like all I needed was my husband as my friend, right? Oh, he's my best friend. He's my best friend. And yes, he's my best friend, right? Your significant other, of course, right? There needs to be some type of friendship, right? For you to even say I do. Yeah. But there's something about having good girl friends. I mean, friends you can call and talk to and cry with and pray with and laugh with and travel with and go out to eat with. Friends bring something to the table that your partner, and forget even husband or wife, let's just even say significant other, right? Because I know you guys are dating. Look how beautiful they are. So of course they're dating. But there's something that friends, true friends, bring to the table. And I just think it needs to be talked about. It needs to be highlighted more. Like I said, there's just so many things I would have done differently. There's so many people that I would have held on to that I don't even have anymore, right? And there's people that I probably should have let go a long time ago. Well, trust me, I let them go already. But I'm just saying, I let them go already, but I maybe should have let them go sooner, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm 30 and I'm still trying to figure out how to make friends even at 30, you know? And I'm like, God, send people, you know, like I have people that I call friends, but I just was in a space of reflecting and saying, you know, there's some things that I did wrong. So enough of me. All right, so we're gonna get right into it, and feel free to answer whoever. And if you have different answers, more than one of you can talk. Pretty much, that's what I'm saying. And I'm excited, y'all, because this is the first time I'm having 3 people on set. Okay. All right. So, first question: how did you guys all meet?
Yeah, well, we all met at church.
Okay.
Simi and I met first in
sure
like
did.
in like middle school-ish, I think, around there. And
At a girls' retreat.
Yeah, and then we met Dami in high school.
I think it was camp. It was, I think it was Canada camp that I came, but that was like the first camp I went to, but I didn't go to church with you guys.
That was 2010, I think.
Yeah, so.
Was that high school? That was just, we were about to just go into high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's been some years, y'all.
Yeah.
It's been some years.
Yeah. Who approached who first? Like, how did the friendship start? And so maybe I'll just ask the two of you, and then we'll bring Dami in, right? Since you guys started this thing first, how did this friendship start?
Well, I think I don't really remember. I think I approached Lara first, but Lara wasn't really feeling me.
Okay, see.
And I will stand by this story.
I'm gonna let you talk first. Then I'm gonna...
I will stand by this story, but no, I remember when I first came. I came into the girls' retreat, and
And sidebar, because I'm sure people are like, what girls retreat?
oh
What church?
yeah.
They happened to all go to the same church as well. So
And the same age group and everything.
Yeah.
So we had retreats that were for like our specific age group.
Okay.
At the time. So I came in, I didn't know anyone, but in my opinion, Lara was more like, cause you would agree that you're more on the quiet side.
Yes.
So it was more like, okay, you know, I don't know this girl, so I'm not gonna talk to this girl, like on her end, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like, okay, I'm coming in, like, I'm gonna approach people that are warm, that like seem very welcoming. Sis was not one of them. She wasn't. She really was not. But I don't know when we actually like became, who approached who. Or maybe you remember, but.
No, I think our friendship took a while to start. We got acquainted with one another.
Yeah.
For some years.
Yeah.
It was not until high school that we actually, I think,
spent time together.
Yeah, and like built a real friendship. That's
Yeah.
So it took some time.
It did take some time. 'Cause I just thought she didn't like me.
And like she
Even
said,
at a young age?
And I've gotten that before because I was very quiet and shy, and it took a while for me to warm up to people and to talk to people.
Okay.
So
It was a personality thing.
yeah, like it wasn't anything against her. I wasn't really talking
I wanted
to
to be her
anybody.
friend so bad. I wanted to be her friend so bad. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this girl, she wears like the double shirts. She wears like the the double V-necks. Oh my gosh, that was so in. I'm like, oh my gosh, she wears like the beads, like the beaded earrings and everything. And you would like curl your hair with the headband.
Yeah, well,
I remember the whole thing. Oh my god. Whoa. No, but I wanted to be your friend so bad. Cause I'm the type of person that like, if I come into a space where I don't know people, I want everyone to like me. Like I want everyone to like, like I just want to, I guess, just be cool with everybody. And I was like, darn, this girl's not really giving me what I want.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So then how did Dami now get into this beautiful friendship that you guys
I
have?
would say, at least speaking from my point of view, the first time I met them was camp, but everyone had already known each other. So I think also coming into it, I assumed that they were like closer. So for me, like when I enter into friendships, like I'm always that person. I'm kind of like more observant. I would say I'm similar to Lara, like I'm kind of quiet. So I feel like our friendship, especially, like we always, like when I started going to the church, I always knew them, but I wasn't close to them for like, I would say even getting closer up to like when we were in college.
Oh wow.
Like moving, like we always, we did stuff together because we were in the same age group, all that stuff. But I would say our friendship as it is now really solidified and has grown as we've, gone through college and moved up. Because I didn't go to school with them either. They went to school together. So I always say that, like, I moved back home after school, and I think we were able to form a friendship, together, and also separately. I've been able to, like, have friendships with both of them. So.
I agree with that. I feel like in the beginning stages, a lot of our friendship was more based off of like, okay, we see each other on Sundays, church, we sit together, okay, cool. But then after that, it's like, all right, see you next Sunday. Like, it was just very like, just because we were in the same church, exactly, we're the same age, and we're always put into the same group. It was one of those things. But yeah, I agree with Dami for sure.
So kind of like a forced friendship.
Yeah, I feel like church friendships are low key forced.
Yeah, because you're always around each other.
Just you
Like, we don't even have the same personality. Like, So it wasn't until college that you guys made a like intentional decision to say, I want Simi, I want Dami, I want Lara to be my friend.
Yes, because I think at that point we were like she said, Lara and I went to college together, but at that point Dami was leaving, right? So we had to make an intentional decision, like to say like, okay, I'm choosing to continue this friend. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't as easy as, okay, I'm going to see you next Sunday. It's cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess we were more intentional with our friendship. But I also think that I was truly friends with them even going into college.
It was just a different,
level of friendship.
We were so growing, I would say. And college, it's hard. Like, we were all doing our own stuff. Like, I went to school like 3 hours away. I wasn't always gonna see them. So like, I would go months without seeing them. So I would just,
So I have a question, and this doesn't even have to do with you guys' friendship together, but growing up, did your mom ever talk to you guys about friendship? Like, is that like, what were conversations like with your mom or even dad, right? But I would think more mom, mother-daughter kind of conversations regarding friendship. And I ask that because, again, I have a daughter and all of that, but I don't believe that a lot of parents, and maybe it's African parents, I don't know, really talk to their kids, about how to be a good friend. So I'm just curious, like, what kind of conversation, and maybe it's not, maybe I can say African parents in general, was that a conversation that you had with your mom or even dad, when it came to friendship, how to be a good friend, how to, have trust in a friendship, and, that kind of thing, like, because kind of what you see growing up is really what you begin to do. So like, did you even see your parents have friends? Like, what was the dynamic?
Right.
So I don't know who wants to go first, but I'm just curious, like.
So I didn't have those kind of conversations with my mom or my dad. I am the youngest of like my family, and even like close cousins, I'm the youngest. So those were my friends, my older cousins, my older sister. And my mom would say sometimes, you need to hang out with people your own age. But honestly, when I was younger, there wasn't really anybody around my age. So it was just them. So I kind of learned the ropes of friendship kind of from seeing my older sister and my cousins and them. But mainly I feel like just on my own along the way, I kind of did a trial and error type of thing. Because at some point when they're getting into middle and high school, they don't want to hang out with me. It's just me. And like I said, I was quiet. So I was very fine with being by myself. So the friendship thing wasn't really something that I was really practicing or getting a grip of until like later, like end of high school, really college, after college, kind of today.
Probably,
like now.
Continuing,
Right.
Okay, Dami, how about you?
I would say no. And also, speaking of my mom, like, I feel like my mom, I feel like she never really had like so many friends. I feel like, and that's why me too, like, I've always been more of a quality over quantity person. Like,
that's right.
Funny enough, like, I feel like I've always been that person. I always could fit in a lot of different friend groups. Like, I always had, this friend group, that friend group, because I think I was just able to, maneuver in places. But for me, like, it takes a lot for me to call you a friend. So even like, I would say, you know, elementary school, middle school, I went through a lot of different friend groups, like a lot of different, you know, whatever. And then high school, I didn't solidify my friend group until junior year. But I would say I didn't learn, I would say, friendship from my parents. I think I would see, like, you know, their friendship. My dad, like, he always knows a lot of people, and he always just had a lot of friends. I mean, I don't know how he considered those people, you know, real friends, whatever. But he always knew so many people, and I just wasn't like that. So I think I took more of, I guess, friendship from my mom, but we never really talked about it. It was kind of just something, you know, I think just instilling general characteristics in you is like how you're able to be a good friend because you're a good person.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Very well said. Yeah,
That makes sense.
For sure. For me, I think I can relate to both of what you guys said. Definitely learning from like older siblings, and then also parents, learning from parents. But I don't believe I ever had like conversations with mommy and daddy about friendship as far as like, okay, Simi, come sit down, let's talk about how to be a good friend. But if I would, because of the relationship I have with mommy, especially, like, you know, I open up to her. So maybe situations that I had with friends in the past, I would bring it to her attention, and that's when we'll have the conversation like, okay, Simi, well, what she did was wrong, but what you did back was equally, like, that's where those conversations kind of came from. But similar to what Dami said about like having parents that are like different, like, I don't know if you agree with me, but daddy's also very like, you know, he knows a lot of people, right? But he won't call everyone his friend.
Yeah. I'm
like that. So I might be outgoing. I know, yeah, like everyone in the school, everyone's like, oh, Simi Simi's friends with everybody. You know, I'm not. Because like you said, it takes a lot to call somebody a friend, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm cool with you. Oh, yes, of course. Like, when I see you on the street, I would go out of my way to say hello to you. But are you my friend? Would I answer your FaceTime? If you didn't schedule, like, you know, like, if I can't answer your FaceTime on, like, you know, on that, like, didn't let me know you was calling type of thing, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's definitely, like, I feel like I took after daddy when it comes to that. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. Can you guys share any kind of experiences you guys had with each other? We'll start with each other that you could say were like low points of your friendship. And how did you guys maneuver that experience?
I mean, I guess I can say, I don't think there's ever been like super low point, but I know for me, because I didn't go to school with them, and they actually went to school with one of my like best friends. Like, I've known her since I was like, before I was born, like, just always known her. So
I was even born.
No, really. So at some point, I think I felt a little bit, because, you know, I had to go to school by myself. Like, I didn't have friends. Like, you know, I had to make new friends. So like, it's like they at least had each other and like some other people that went to church with us. So I think for me, sometimes I felt a little left out when I would come home, because like, I feel like college is like a very formative time, like you're building yourself. So I think for me, I was very insecure at some point in our friendship, and I had to learn to, you know, kind of address it within myself, and like even talk to them sometimes about like how I'm gonna be feeling. So I would say like that might have been a low point for me, I would consider in our friendship.
For sure.
Well, low points, I don't really feel like there were low points really. I would say early on in our friendship, like the middle school, early high school point, there was some insecurities, like you said, that came just within myself, just because for a long time I was always compared to people. And so like when it became like us, I feared, and not even only feared, people would say,
like, you know what I'm saying? People really did compare.
Yeah, compared. And it would make me, I don't know, just feel some type of way, obviously, and make me, I would purposely try not to like act different towards any of them, because it's not like, they're not the one comparing us, it's other people. But in my head, it's still like a low-key, like a low-key animosity type of thing, but it's like, you didn't do anything, right? It's just the fact that why, like, I don't want to be compared to anybody. So it was that. But with time, I just kind of, you know, work that out with myself. And, you know, growing up a little bit, just take it to the chin. It's whatever. It doesn't really affect what we have
Your
going
dynamic.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's I think my low point, I would say.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always agreeing, but no, with what Lara said, I agree because also, so you're coming from the standpoint, like, she was at the church, right? Everybody already knew Lara. She was the little sis of you know, all the groups and whatnot. And then I think with me coming in, I did have some insecurity because I'm like, okay, like, I want to be a little sis as well. Like, you know, like I said, I have that personality where I want people to like me, right? Like, I want everyone to like me. So I don't think it was competition, but I do see where you say, like, I had insecurities.
Okay, I didn't know. When you say competition, I'm sorry, is it like outside people
making me feel like that?
Yeah,
like
making like, yeah, was it, because y'all weren't really competing.
We
like,
no.
Yeah.
Why are we competing for it?
Yeah. But in order, but I'm saying this, that for you to have that, something had to have been going on. Something had to have been said. Something had to have been done. It didn't just come from like, you know, from nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Something happened. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I did feel like it was more like outside. Yeah, for sure. Do you feel that?
And yeah, I do definitely think it starts with the outside, but that made me then feel like insecure on the inside, you know? Yeah. So it was kind of like building on each other kind of thing.
You guys are really grown. You guys know. I'm like, I just see the growth. I see the maturity. I see all of it.
We have to connect it.
I really do. All right. So, what value do friendships bring to your life? Well, no. Before we go there, can you talk about a low moment with anyone else? Doesn't have to be with Lara or Dami, but a low moment that you've had with maybe another friend where you were like, this person is not my friend. And you don't need to say names, but let us know why. What happened briefly.
A low moment where I felt like what? I don't really, can I answer part of the question? A low moment, definitely a low moment for me. I oftentimes, this is outside of our friendship, this is more like school related. I was kind of left out. Quite a lot, and I think that also touches on why I have no friends from like middle school, high school. Like, once I finished each grade, I left the people in the grade prior, and I think it was because I often felt left out because I believe I was very true to myself, in my opinion, and if I didn't get down like that, I didn't get down like that. Type of thing. Like, yeah, you're cool. I know in high school there was us 4 black girls, and we were like the crew. Like, we ran the hallways. Ran it.
I know that's right.
We were the 4 black girls, and you know, I went to a predominantly white school, and I mean, they loved us. You know, they loved us.
They always do.
Yeah, right. They loved us. But I kind of always stood out. Like, I didn't, you know, like smoke. You know, I didn't do these things. Sometimes I would feel, and then they'd be like, oh, Simi's like, always at church. Like, Simi's always at that. I'd be like, chill, girl, like, chill. But you know, like, summertime, they never saw me because I was at camp. And then, you know, or I was hanging out, like, I spent my summers, like, at Lara's house. Like, I was never at their, you know, pool parties, whatever. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes I did feel left out, and that was, I guess, a low point for me. But that's really...
And that's high school. Anything? No stories from college?
From college? I did have a friendship that I when I look back and I reflect on that friendship, I believe it was not a healthy friendship at all. And it goes to show, I mean, we're not like friends right now. I still care about her, of course, and I hope she cares about me. But in my opinion, it was very unhealthy. I think the foundation was in my opinion, like jealousy, and when I reflect back on it, it's like, whoa, like, I don't think this girl really likes me. But I think to her, our friendship just made sense. Like, it was like, okay, we're like, you know, we're both African. And we're both, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we both came in freshman year together. But when I look back at it, I'm like, this girl could have hated my guts for all I know. You know what I mean? Like, and it scares me because I'm like, I spent a lot of time with this girl. But from things that I've heard, like, you know, her say, or even do to my face, but in my head, I'll just, you know, ignore, like, oh, it's okay. Blah, blah. But I'm like, whoa, this could have really ended, you know, like, really badly. But luckily, you know, God ended that friendship very peacefully, very calmly. It wasn't even like out of, there was no, yeah, not at all. It was just one of those, we went our separate ways and just calmly just separated from each other. So I guess that was a low point, but, you know.
How about you,
You're lucky because
how much time we got?
You know, I would say I agree with you in that there were a lot of low points in my friendship where I was very insecure, so it made me question, wow, like, am I a good friend? Like, I really struggled with that because as a person, I really try to be genuine to other people, and like, and also I think within my friendships, I always felt left out too, because I always felt like, okay, you know, like when you have a friend group and it's like, there's the one person that everyone's like, oh, like within the friend group, that's the one person. I was never that person. So for me, I always struggled in my friend groups because I always felt like I had to kind of maneuver my way into the friend group or do whatever I had to do. But it's like, at the end of the day, when things got real, they probably weren't going to choose me. I think I struggled with that in middle school, in high school, even in college. And even in college, I had an experience where I was friends with this girl since freshman year. Like, she was one of my first friends at my school. And college, I think as time went on, I realized like, a lot of college friendships were friendships of convenience. And I'm just not a good friendship of convenience. If I call you my friend, like, you're my friend. Like, I'm loyal to a fault. Like, I'm just very, you know, down for you. So we were friends, you know, from freshman year to senior year. And I remember, like, we would always kind of butt heads because we were kind of similar in the way we interact and things like that. So yeah, we were in a friend group. I think it was like, I don't even remember how many of us, but we all lived together, I think, last year. And I just remember I was so miserable my last year of being in school because I just felt so lonely. I just felt like I was questioning the connections that I really made with people, and like, you know, just questioning a lot. But I mean, obviously, like, that time is just like it's a lot.
Emotions are very high.
Yeah, very high.
So ending college.
Yeah, like I remember graduation day, I was pissed. We had to drive on the way home. It was just a time. But I remember basically what happened is we were in our group chat and we were just like talking or whatever. And I think I had a difference in opinion on, it was like, we were talking about a show. Like, it was literally interpreting like the end of a show. And I think I said something and she responded back, and I was kind of like, cause you know, you can tell when someone a text is kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And I think I was reactionary, so I went on Twitter and I was like, you know, I didn't say I didn't say anything about her. I just said in general, like, you can have differences of opinion. Like, it doesn't mean that, you know, your opinion, I'm invalid, whatever. I said whatever. And she, I think, said something. I immediately was like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So I reached out to her and texted her and said, like, I apologize. Like, that was reactionary.
I love that.
I didn't mean to. She, as soon as that first sentence happened, I knew this friendship was over. It's over. She immediately started saying, oh, you always do this, da da da. Just putting out this whole list.
That's a big word.
No, it was like it was basically, it came to a bigger thing of how I think she was saying as a friend, like, I'm always kind of coming for her, or like, doing whatever, I don't know. But I was very taken aback because it was like, I don't feel like you never expressed this to me. Mm-hmm. Like, if you did, I'm the type of person, like, I can acknowledge it. Even back then, like, I still had growing to do, but I still had growing to do, but I still
trust me. Even when it comes to friends, because we will forever be growing. Like, even for me, there's someone that I'm like, this week, you will text her because she has been trying to connect with me for years, but I don't know why it like gives me anxiety. And I don't, you know, it's like, and I feel so bad.
I know it.
But I also can't use that as an excuse because I can't also be the same person saying, I need friends. I want friends. But if somebody's saying like, yo, I want to be your friend, you know, like, I gotta give her a chance, right? So I love that you're owning your part.
Yeah.
I love that. And like you said, you bring up a great point about communication. Like if somebody you call a friend cannot let you know when they offend you, is that really a friendship? You should be able to, and that was one thing that I had issues with. I never knew how to speak up. So like I'll just be like, okay. But in my heart,
You're
you
hurting.
offend, like you hurt me. You know, and maybe they didn't mean to do it, but the words never came out, you know? So it's not fair to you, obviously, right? Because you're like, wait, okay, I went on Twitter, but I apologize, you know? Like, and if we're really friends, we should be able to kind of put the pieces back together.
Right. And you're saying always, so it's
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It needs to always happen.
That's the thing.
You
It made me
question.
So it made me question, and
Yes.
but it just taught me to also be more prayerful about my friendships, because that brought me to
That's a big one.
very low point. And also I had to grieve that friendship, because I had a friend group that kind of dissolved, and then that friendship, like I had to grieve that friendship.
Wow.
So that was definitely a low point for me. But yeah.
I wish you said a lot of good things.
Yeah,
even about the prayer, because a lot of us go into friendships so blindly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, she has really nice shoes, so let's be friends, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, there's more to it. And I think you girls, well, ladies, they're not even girls, women, you will see that as you get older, as you start, making big decisions in your life,
Right.
as you start getting married, right, and having kids. You'll begin to understand, like, okay, I need to be very prayerful about who I allow in my space, who I call a friend, who I open up with, who I tell my business to, who I pray with. It's really, really, really important. How about you, Laura? Any low moments that you want to share with us?
Honestly, I don't really have many low moments because I don't have friends like that. Honestly, you guys were the first ones that I would genuinely call my friend. Like my high school, middle school, all those friends, I would call them friends because like acquaintance is too long of a word to say. So friend, that's my friend. But in my heart,
Acquaintance is too long.
like who has time to be saying that, right?
And at that age too, do you really know what?
I didn't want to spell it.
I didn't know, but I knew they weren't really my friends' friends.
They were classmates.
They were classmates. They were classmates that I talked to.
Right.
We sat at lunch
Did
together.
homework together.
Okay. And that was just because, well, one, it was the kind of guarded thing. Nobody knew my life, and I purposely didn't share my life. Partly because, like, I'm very private, but also because I saw how they treated each other with their personal information. I'm not about to have you go and spreading my stuff all over. So I was very intentional with not sharing myself with people. So as these are my first genuine friends, and then I got some more in college, we haven't really had, well, for me, I haven't really had low points with
Which is good.
any of them. And I still have that, I'm calling you my friend, but in my heart, I know you're not my friend. I need to work on that.
You still have those in your circle? Or
not in my circle, but in my heart.
Oh, okay.
I know there's people out there that think I'm their friend. But I know I'm not. So it's like pretty much making my circle be known, I guess.
Okay.
And I think I need to make it more clear where people stand in my life. And like, it's not like I'm gonna be like, be distant with people or whatever, but just know what to expect from me, pretty much. I need to do better with that. But.
I wanted to just touch on what Dami had. Well, just hearing the story, there's a lot of passion there, right? Like, Dami's a passionate friend. And that's one thing I felt like I wasn't. Like, if I was to lose a friend, okay. Like, it was, honestly, it was just like, okay. Like, all right. Like I said before, like,
which is not good either.
Which is, no, it's not. And that's why I'm praying for that type of, like, passion and I want that, because like I said, after high school, I barely spoke to anyone, you know what I'm trying to say, and I wasn't affected by it. I wasn't. And maybe, okay, it wasn't a true friendship or whatever, but I didn't even think twice about it. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think I'm now starting to realize the importance of community, because, you know, we're growing up, so we're going through, like, you know, we're really going through certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And the role you guys play in my life is something that is a role that I can't even imagine not
having someone play
exactly
in your life.
Now. So now I'm realizing, like, whoa, like, I really need community. I really need sisters and girlfriends. And now I'm passionate. Because I realize the importance of it, I can be passionate about the friendship. You know, I could be a lot. That's where I'm at right now, and I thank God for that, because, like I said before, I was fine not keeping friends. I had my sister, and when I tell you, Ikepa was my best friend, I still say, when people say who's your best friend, I say Ikepa.
And I tell her, don't say that.
But because honestly, I was very fine. I was fine. What?
Same.
Yeah, I was really cool with that.
I know you guys all have older sisters.
Yes.
So yeah.
I mean,
Well, I wasn't even.
I love Annie, but stop. No, I love her, but
No, I wasn't even.
But you
older
understand that
siblings.
friends are different than family.
It
They
is.
serve a different purpose.
Yeah.
Now, again, friends can become family, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the closeness and all
Yeah.
of that, but there's just something about friendship, and that's really the essence of this conversation. Just I want people to understand that you need friends.
I know.
Like, what's that song? Friends. How many of us have them? Friends.
Don't show your age. Don't show your age. Don't show your age.
And no, I mean, but it's like
It is true.
need people.
Even Jesus had community, right? Like
Yes.
his disciples followed him, and if Jesus can do it, Simi, you too, you need it. Like if Jesus needed it, you need it. And there were times Jesus needed to be alone, right? I could be like, hey y'all, like just.
And Jesus knew his disciples.
He knew them.
He knew his disciples.
That's
a
it.
word.
That's a word. That's
a
it.
word.
That's it.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, so I mean, the community is important.
And
It
Jesus
is.
had a Judas.
And
yep.
ooh, Ikepa, what we doing right now? Hold on. Yeah, the Judas.
Right? So everyone might not be for you.
Mhm.
And that is okay. That is okay. But again, we need people. We need friends. We need to be good people to our friends. We need to be good friends. So my next question is, what is your toxic trait? Because honestly, I believe that nobody can say, oh, I don't have no toxic trait. We're all a work in progress, right? And it's important that even as friends, I would hope that you guys can have conversations even around those toxic traits. Like, yo, Simi, you really need to work on this. You need to work on X, right? And we can pray about it. But you have the tendency to do X, Y, and Z. So what is that? Like, have you guys ever had that conversation?
I have a few toxic traits. And the thing is, like, even though we haven't had the conversation, I believe you guys, you probably would
Agree
with me.
So this will be the first time. Let's have it.
I can go a month or so without talking to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we
I
can
do the
all
same
of us.
thing. I do the same thing.
I don't text
Got
back. Sometimes I don't answer.
You did that this week.
I did. I apologize.
It's fine.
I was in and out of sleep all day.
2 days?
Yeah. That's, and then another one is sometimes, I think I'm getting better, but my jokes might hurt some people's feelings.
Okay.
It could be a little too. It might be a little too. You know, maybe too
Belittling?
soon or too.
Is it belittling?
I think more so people can feel like I'm putting them on the spot.
Okay.
Maybe more so. That is something we can talk about because that is an experience Lara and I had. So my jokes. I guess it's toxic.
No, it can be.
It can be. It can be.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially if your friend doesn't like you telling those kind of jokes on their at their expense, right?
Were they jokes?
Share the experience.
Yes. Yeah. Let's dive into it.
Oh, you want me to share?
Yeah. Were they jokes or were they just? Do you feel like I sometimes
Took things too
call
far.
you out, or took things too far, or just kind of like singled you out, maybe?
So, maybe a combination. I don't remember what.
This
exactly
was years ago.
a few
y'all.
years ago. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what was said.
Mhm.
I think maybe it was like a combination of like the joke / calling out type of thing. maybe I was just had a sensitive point of time because it was just, I don't know, it just made me really feel some type of way.
And then I started. I don't want you to feel like maybe not.
Because at the time, like nothing. Yeah, we don't have issues between us, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm feeling these types of ways about what you were saying, it made me like it hurt my feelings, and I was starting to get not like mad at you, but like I didn't really want to be around type of thing, but I also didn't actually not want to be around. So like I was feeling that, but I was like, I don't want to change. So I wrestled with the saying something. I'm not one to address things.
Right, you're not confrontational.
Yeah, no, not at all. But this situation, like she was like one of my closest friends. So like I said, I didn't have friends before. So this is the first time like I'm experienced like this kind of like issue with a friend type of thing. So I didn't really know what to do. And I was talking to my sister about it, crying and stuff. And she was like,
oh my gosh, I can't believe I made Omalara cry.
Like I said, honestly, I don't cry. So I think maybe
She's like, don't get it to I don't cry.
No, I don't. I think partly I was like going through things or something. But she was like, you have to like tell her, because if you don't, then that you're the fake friend acting like everything's fine, but really you're feeling some type of way. Yeah. So then I called you one day, and then we had this conversation, and then you can jump in like how you said that.
She called me. And I was like, in my head, I was like, wait, what is she talking about? Because I would never do something intentional, like, or out of spot. Like, I'm going out of my way to go and hurt Omalara. Never. So the fact that she felt like that way, automatically I did kind of get a little, in my heart, defensive. Like, why would you even think I would, you know? But then I had to understand, like, okay, she's feeling this way for a reason. You know what I mean? And as a friend, right? Now, Simi, at this point, Simi's still learning how to be a good friend and whatnot. I'm like, okay, Simi, as a friend, there's a reason. And so I need to, you know, acknowledge that she's feeling this way and that there's, you know, a reason for it. So really, I talked to you about it as well. I talked to you about it as well. But she's the right person to talk to.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but I do appreciate you for doing that. I do, because one, I mean, no one has ever, this is, like you said before, this is like my first real friendship. These are my first real friendships. So no one has ever, I guess, said something, called me out, or told me something I did, made them uncomfortable. No one has ever told me that. So I was taken aback at first, but I appreciate that, because you could have just said, you know what, I'm not messing with her no more. Boom, end the friendship just like that. Like a 9. You know what I mean? So it's good. I think that really did establish. For sure.
The fact that we're able to have those kind of conversations and move on.
And move on.
Not
because the next day we was outside. The next day we were at the train station going to Newark. We went to Newark, I think. Yeah, we did that concert. We were like, sis! It was time, but I just knew now, okay, she doesn't like this, so Simi, don't do it. Right. That was it. That was all it was.
And it wasn't like, oh, well, that's just who I am. People would.
But I also think a part of her did understand that. She also did understand that, like, I know it wasn't intentional, Simi, but I'm just letting you know how it made me feel. Like, she knew I would never do that to her purposely. So she understood my personality, but she still brought it to my attention. And that's what makes her a good friend. You know what I mean? So. Thank you, girl.
We were talking about toxic traits. I would say similar to Simi. Like, I can go some time without talking to my friends, but I've been working on it. I would also say something else that is my toxic trait is not. I think I could be a little secretive. Like private, like people, I don't think people, like sometimes I don't think people know that. Like, I'm very good at focusing the conversation on you. So it's like, oh, we're talking about you. Like, and I only drop in this little thing. So I think for a lot of time in my friendships, like people didn't know them. Like, no one knew what was going on. And I've been working on that. I would also say another toxic trait is not reaching out to people. Like, I always think I'm bothering people. So, like, even if I might be going through something, I'm just going to try to figure it out myself. Which I think is just toxic in the fact that, like, my friends are there. Like, they've made it known that they're there. So I need to open up to them and reach out to them. So I would say those are things. But I've been working on them. Like, I'm getting better.
That's good. And honestly, like, being a friend, having friends, friendship, it's hard. It's hard. It's
like
not
a full-time
easy.
job.
It is not easy, I'm telling you. So, you know, understanding that you have people that you can actually talk to. You don't have to carry things by yourself. You know, I mean, damn, you're just spitting a lot of gems.
Honestly, straight gems.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. How about you, Lara? Toxic trait.
So maybe I need to do some more introspective, searching. But I think I kind of have.
I think we're all very similar.
Yeah, with our
that's
traits,
what it is.
like the not reaching out thing. I've been trying, but I just be lost in my own world. That the keeping things to myself thing, going through something until I can't go through it anymore, and then I reach out. What else? Yeah, I think there's more. I know. I just can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to her list?
Yeah,
Or
you
wanna,
can add.
Or you want to add to each other's list?
Yeah.
No. I think a big one. I think a big one for all of us, to be honest, is really we have an issue with opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, and I remember a conversation I had with Amalara some years ago, where it was like we need to, like we were telling each. I don't know if you remember. It was in the lobby of church, and we were like, we need to start trusting each other more, and that's what's gonna make our friendship kind of just like go to the next level, I guess you can say, or no, we were having a conversation because we were saying our friendship is low-key real surface.
Yeah.
Real surface.
Yeah.
And I feel like we spent years at that surface level and we didn't want to like
dive too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we both knew we were very
comfortable.
surface, but we were very comfortable with it. And we knew
with
that
that.
like if this remains like this friendship
We're
might
not
not
gonna
last.
be friends. Yeah.
Might not last. And it's for me it's still a process. It's not easy for me to do that. Even now, I have to be very like, okay, Cindy, pick up your phone right now and tell these girls that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
but I love where we're going with this. Why? Like, can you guys, let's take a moment. And your whys could be so different, right? Your why might not be her why or your why, but why is that? Why is it or was it so hard for you guys to open up?